Hello and welcome, my Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and crosswatchers. Welcome to our timeless shadow reading. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, Venus and Libra. I am a professional witch, a professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of 2 different books with the third one on the way. The first one is called Spell Ingredients from a Professional Witch. The second one, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, and there is a Kindle version available of Words of Grace. If you would like to click a link in the description box, you can preview it for free and see the first chunk of it, including the table of contents. You'll see it's primarily divided into chakra chapters. There are chakras in this reading. You may find it of use. The original version of Words of Grace, we had to edit it down quite a bit to make it fit on Kindle. That is available over on patreon.com/Drawing the Circle in our digital store, as well as the only place to find my first book, Spell Ingredients from a Professional Witch. We've got audios and videos there for purchase as well, with free previews for the audios and videos. Patreon is just the coolest thing I have ever done in my work career and vocation, considering I have a Venus and Libra, and that's a little kitten outside the door who wants very much to come into this room, but is not allowed to come into this room. But I will pop up a picture for him at the end. He's fine. He's fine. He's a Sagittarius, and he's very, I named him Samuel. The voice of God is how that translates. Boy, they sure do know how to name them. So, yeah, some of my subscribers get the audios, the videos, and the ebooks as part of their subscription package, but all of my subscribers get 3 benefits in common. Number 1, they get a daily check-in. I send them an unlisted YouTube live stream link, and we chat about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, always ending with a little prayer, a little blessing, a little something to send us on our way. And it's the wisest way for me to start the day, considering I have a new kitten and what I do for a living, and he makes lots of kitty cameos pretty much every morning. They also get all the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here on YouTube. All of my extended readings are timeless and relationship stuff based. Let's just call it relationship stuff based, as well as they get a significant discount when they book me for a private session. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. You can follow us for free, putting out more content advanced, as well as exclusive content for my free followers. My subscribers get to see that stuff too, as well as you can 7-day free trial us if you like, as a seeker or a human. We're having a lot of fun over there. The menu is stacked. The digital shop is wonderful. I love it so very much. So if you feel so intuitively drawn, or even just curious, click the link, check it out, and come Patreon on Patreon. So I'm the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can just call me Mal. Hey, my Libras. Oh, Cardinal Air. We're so creative, aren't we? So let's do some explanation for the new Libras and crosswatchers. Then we will get into the divination. Feel free to jump ahead if you've heard it all before. Welcome, new Libras and crosswatchers. This is a shadow read. It's about the shadow work, embracing the shadow, emotional, mental healing. I call it in the language of spiritual alchemy, alchemizing our shadow to light, our lead to gold, our pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health and to fear and love, with 3 atoms in between lead and gold that have to be released, transformed, surrendered, healed, whatever you want to call it. I prefer the word alchemize. And we're going to be using 6 cards to do that. 1 card from 6 different decks. The first 3 cards are about the chakras. So for the 8th chakra, hovering over the head, we'll use a Caroline Mace archetype card. This will give us a little insight into the shadow work, the alchemy from lead to gold. That sends down the codes to all the other chakras underneath it, shifting what we attract and repel in our electromagnetic field, known and unknown to us, so that we have the opportunity to no longer delay what cannot be prevented in our own spiritual awakening, healing journey, whatever you want to call it. So we'll get 1 Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the internal feminine energy, heart, third eye, crown. For the lower 3 chakras, the masculine, the yang dynamic, looking at ourselves from the outside, and or us looking from the inside out at people, places, and things, relationships in the physical world, the Mythic Tarot, one of my favorite decks. Those will take care of chakras from the 8th down to the root. We will then get a whisper from the Whispers of Lord Ganesh by Angela Hartfield. Ganesh, the Hindu elephant-headed god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, with those 3 atoms in between, lead and gold, metaphorically speaking, being the obstacles we will be talking about for this general read. We will then get a Divine Animals Oracle, because we need our spirit animals and our totems, which are always with us in times, right, when we are doing the tougher work, the shadow work, right, doing the alchemy. And we all have access to those if we but call upon them. And we will end with a Matt Kahn healing mantra to give us a little, element of air, right? Something verbal, something mental that we can use to heal, because shadow work is just another form of healing, inner child work, therapy, counseling, whatever you want to call it. And this is a reading, a general read for the well-being of all, because there is only one collective shadow. We all have our own personal toeholds in that, if you will. So as one of us shifts to a more golden rather than leaded timeline, a more loving rather than fearful timeline, we take the people with us that are willing to go on that timeline for happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser lives, in happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser ways, for happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world. And I'm all signed up for that. So there is all of our explanation for now. Let's get into the divination. Both feet on the floor if you can. And I just learned this, that if you sit in a way where your knees are lower than your hips, your back will more naturally straighten and you'll sit up more straight. Just learn, always learning, right? So both feet on the floor if you can, and focus on your breath, if you will. And I promise I will do anything I can as a professional witch, a professional intuitive, and a spiritual counselor for decades to help anybody do their shadow work, because it's hard, but as one of us heals, all of us heals, even if we don't pronounce it correctly every single time. So let's do this. I'm ready. The kitten has calmed down for now. And I promise I'll pop up a picture at the end if you want to see him. He's adorable. Please take a nice deep breath. And I love him. Still point. Oh, Pantheonic Override. A place for everything. And everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. Beloved Pantheons of the Divine, one card in clarity, please to represent what's going on in the 8th chakra for us Libra Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and our cross-watchers, indicating the alchemy from shadow to light, from lead to gold, from pain to peace. We can shift from toxicity to health and fear to love for this timeless shadow read. The Engineer. Now look, this ain't all about car parts, I'm telling you. You can have an archetype for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. This is a creative family archetype, and the Engineer comes to me for reasons, right? Like dealing with technical stuff, it's not my forte. Certainly I'm more of an artist than a technician, but when I read this to you, this will make more sense. You could also be dealing with somebody who's dealing with this archetype, reason, season, or lifetime in a general read with cross-watchers. So written on the card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute. This is lead, this is gold, those 3 atoms in between. So the lead, reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Oh, come now. That's like everywhere. It's like with banks and like anything digital, right? It's like if you make a boo-boo, it's like tough, right? So, but without regard for emotional consequences, that's how I was kind of raised, right? Generation X that I am. The gold we are shooting for, ability to give creative energy a practical expression. So practical expression, I'm doing it right now. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. like when the batteries run out of juice, right? Like just like those very, very common things. But it's creative. Cardinal air. Libra is, cardinal means creative, initiatory. So it does make sense. And it is very much an air element with strategies, right? And to do that from an intuitive as well as an intellectual place is the way to go, but challenging. So let's look at the next 4 chakras down. Because throat chakra minimum, this is all about free will. Free will. It's like being in a video game. The codes are all in place, and we don't know what's going to happen, but we get to choose over and over and over again. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. My goddesses override. A place for everything, and everything in its place, but all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. My beloved goddesses, 1 card in clarity, please. Heart, throat, third eye, crown, internal, internal dynamic for us Libra collectives and our cross-watchers. What do we need to know in the internal world to alchemize the engineer in the 8th for this timeless shadow read? We've got the 4 of flames, which would be the 4 of wands in traditional tarot. Here we have 2 archers kind of facing off at each other, but 1 dragon fueling the flame. Here at the bottom of the card, we have a keyword, take it for what it's worth. Conflict. This is very throat chakra in my experience, right? Our choices and our decisions. Now, 4s numerologically are usually numbers of a stable rest, right? Before you go into the 5, and the 5 of flames in this deck is Pele, the volcano. So there might be something brewing, something, well, to me, the throat chakra has 3 different functions. Spit it out, like make the decision, swallow it, it's like not now, or chew. I gotta chew on that a little bit, the edges off that jagged little pill, Alanis Morissette vibe there, right? So, of course, with a strategy, you chew on it for a while, right? You might look down different quantum possibilities, like are you going to choose lead or gold? That's 1, right? Crossroads, if you will. And then there are going to be more and more and more and more and more. So, minor arcanas are that. They are minor. They are things, but this is inside of you. So if there is a conflict, it could be a conflict between what you're thinking and what you're feeling, right? About doing it the way everybody else does it or doing it in a new way. But what I like about the engineer archetype in general is that these are common things, right? So this may not be a life-changing thing, but something that has to be dealt with whenever you're watching this. Again, it's a timeless read. Let's look from the outside in, inside out, mythic tarot. Lower 3 chakras, please take a nice deep breath. Because this could be about anything, even relationships. Still point. My gods override. A place for everything and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. My beloved gods, 1 card in clarity, please. 1 from the mythic tarot for the lower 3 chakra, masculine yang dynamic, outside in, inside out, relationships in the physical world, which was Libras and our cross-watchers need to be aware of, so we can alchemize the engineer in the 8th with that 4 of flames conflict on the inner for this timeless shadow read. The lovers, this is the life-changing decision. When it's a major arcana card in a chakra read like this, where there's only 1 card to represent a particular zone, for me, major arcana unifies all 3 of those, in this case, in the lower 3 chakras. Now, to me, major arcana cards are places that we are in our lives, not necessarily literal, although it could be, but this is the judgment of Paris, right? So somebody, the goddess of discord, hucked a golden apple into the wedding of Cadmus and Harmonia, and she wrote on the apple, to the most beautiful goddess. So Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite all jumped for it, and not even Zeus wanted wanted to decide, so they got Paris, not Hilton, the hero, Paris, and each goddess offered him something in exchange, on the sly, in the shade, on the, you know, aside from the other two. So Hera offered him power, right, to hold the globe in his hand, right, to be like the emperor of all emperors, but under her guidance. Athena offered him ultimate wisdom, that he would know everything, which is, you know, wisdom really is power more than knowledge. And Aphrodite offered him the most beautiful woman in the world to be his wife. Well, obviously, he gave the apple to Aphrodite, which really pissed off the other two, by the way. And it started the Trojan War because she was married to somebody already. And whoopsie, be careful what you wish for. So look, the Lover's card this is major. So maybe some minor things you got to chew on, which makes sense to come up with a practical strategy and to bring your creativity into a practical means, which is not the easiest thing in the world. So you certainly are at a crossroads. Now, could this be about relationships? Sure, but this could be about a relationship to anything. Remember, we have a relationship to gravity. We have a relationship to our bodies, to money, to all these different ways. So again, a general read, right? Okay, the chakras are on the table. Let's ask Lord Ganesh about how to remove some obstacles here. Please take a nice deep breath. Stop it. Ganesh override. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. Beloved Lord Ganesh, what is your loving, wise, empowered decision, right? Aphrodite, Athena, Hera, loving, wise, empowered oracle message to help us Libra collectives and our cross-watchers to alchemize the engineer in the eighth, conflict on the inner, lovers on the outer in this timeless shadow read. Nurture, this is the third time this has come up in this spread. So Cancer got it, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there it is. And who else got it? Somebody else got it. Why do I not see it? Femme fatale. Like, oh, and Virgo got it. I'm a Virgo. I thought this sounded familiar. So this is why I write down these things for my Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Sun, because the remover of obstacles is the same for my Virgo Sun as is my Venus and Libra. Have no planets in Cancer. But this is Parvati, the mother of Ganesh. Baby Ganesh going on there. And this is really more about nurturing yourself, at least at first, and then creating a safe and creative space for other people to feel supported. But you got to give it to yourself first. It's just how it works, just like that air mask on an airplane, you know? So focus on creating a calm and balanced life for yourself. Balance, Libra, the scales. Ganesha asks you to maintain a compassionate, nurturing, realistic, and down-to-earth attitude when it comes to collaborating with others and your present conditions. So that could be the crossroads that you're at. I mean, I am collaborating with a lot of people now that I've moved from Holbrook, Long Island to Saratoga Springs. It's like a whole renaissance of my company and my career. You can benefit from being more resourceful and practical. This is a time of slowing down and biding your time and resources. In other words, no rushing ahead here. Deal with any issues as they arise, which is nice, right? Instead of like running into the future trying to micromanage shit that ain't even happened yet. And brainstorm practical and easy solutions that will fix the problem with minimal drama. And brainstorming usually involves other people, right? So be careful of giving too much without regard for your own needs. If you have been feeling exhausted, I do have a kitten in the house, or have been prone to illness, you are invited to stop doing so much for others and do more for you at this time. That makes sense. Again, balance, Libra. Do not seek empowerment by doing for others from a place of needing acknowledgement. Empower yourself by nurturing yourself, then from a healthy place help others. Learn to nurture and to create occasions for others to grow by offering a safe, accommodating energy. This energy is the energy of the heart chakra, Venus, right, Libra. As your life comes more into alignment with your soul purpose, you bring this nurturing and unconditional love beyond your immediate surroundings and out into the world, which is creative air manifest and sent out to the world. So look, this could absolutely have to do with changing decisions, right? Life-changing decisions about the people that you're working with in any way, shape, or form, relationships in any kind, but it does make sense to do the self-care first, right? It's not selfish. I call it higher selfish, right? You just ask your higher self, your higher powers, whatever you want to call it, how may I be more nurturing of myself today in some way, right? And little by little by little, we all get there. So yeah, chew on it, right? You don't have to make these choices right here, right now, what you're going to do for every day for the rest of your life. It's very nurturing, but there is, of course, a great power here in terms of taking your creative visions, ideas, your genius as a cardinal air sign into something practical that will serve everybody. Or not, because, location. Let's get a Divine Animals Oracle here from Stacy DeMarco. Like I said, everybody's got totems and spirit animals and all of that, and they're just kind of classic for going along with the hero on the hero's journey when they make their descent into the underworld, embrace the shadow, call it what you like. Please take a nice deep breath. Totemic override. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. Oh, beloved spirit animals and totems, who walks with us, who flies with us, who swims with us, who crawls with us, giving us the guidance, the grace, the oracle message, the support and protection we need to alchemize, the engineer in the 8th, 4 of Wands, conflict on the inner, 4 flames on the inner, lovers on the outer, removing obstacles by nurturing ourselves and creating nurturing spaces for others in this timeless shadow read. The hare, splitter hare, H-A-R-E, definitely the goddess Ostara here, and cycles being the key word. Now this book has got a lot of good info in it. It's very info dense for such a tiny book, but I'm just going to read you the first little bit that it gives here, sort of like, not the description of the card, but I mean it really does go into like the behavior of the animal and the mythos and even some magic, but I'm just going to read this first part. So card number 31, hare, H-A-R-E, cycles is the key word. Follow the cycles of nature and you will be rarely disappointed as energy travels in cycles. Seek balance, Libra again. There is a time and a season for everything. Plants cannot blossom all the time, so be patient. So look, there are the solar cycles of the wheel of the year, right? The 8 solar Sabbats. There are the lunar waxing and waning, right? All of that. Plus we have our own biorhythmic cycles, right? So to entrain them, right? To kind of go with them and flow with them, then certainly the choices that we make. Because the mind will always want to run into the past of what didn't work and be afraid of what might not work in the future. So to get that there is a gestation time, and that's why I think the nurture card has shown up now twice in 2 of my signs of saying, look, you can only do what you can do. Don't lose your balance trying to be everything for everybody, just one example. But isn't that a common dilemma, right? Particularly if you are part of a family. I mean, I'm part of a family, but I live by myself with 3 cats, right? I work from home. I take clients, I'm doing readings at the Magic Moon, right? So juggling my schedule and making sure my cats are happy are pretty much it. And I get to see my parents a couple of times a week, which is great, right? But I could see this definitely in terms of my career, right? Because like now I'm monetized on Facebook, so I'm learning how to make reels and how to do all this stuff, right? People giving me stars, it's so much fun, but it is a learning journey. So I can see that things happen in cycles, and at the time of this timeless recording, we're getting really, really close to Ostara, and that's who that is. Bunnies. So, you know, and there is supposedly, if you look, an imprint of a rabbit on the moon. So there is very much a lunar, menstrual, moonstral, whatever you want to call it, rhythm to this reading. So do know that the decisions that we make now, we don't have to make them purely from what happened in the past or what we think might happen in the future. We can really allow the inspiration to come through. And there's nothing wrong with a creative conflict if it brings us to a higher creativity, in my experience. Take it for what it's worth. I've only been doing this for a very, very, very long time. Last card down, the Matt Kahn healing mantra. Nothing like a mantra for an air sign of any kind. Ready? Let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ascended Master override. A place for everything and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space. For the well-being of all and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. Beloved Ascended Masters, what is the perfect and precise healing mantra for us Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and our cross-watchers watching this video drawn to this reading to help us alchemize our shadow to light, our lead to gold, our pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health, fear to love, and illusion to truth, alchemizing the engineer in the eighth, four of flames, conflict on the inner, the lovers on the outer, removing obstacles with nurturing, and doing it in cycles, going with the flow, inner and outer, for this timeless shadow read. Deconstructing doubt, a mental one. Only my beliefs are in the way. Well, ain't that the truth? The truth is that there is always a higher truth, a higher level of dimensional consciousness, of unity, you know, whatever. So for me, the grace of humility, which is the first and last grace I talk about in my book, Words of Grace, I call it the maiden grace, is to know that I do not know, but I'm willing to be shown, right? Like virgin olive oil, right? I need nothing as is, right? Because humility is the shield against humiliation, right? People hear humility and they immediately think humiliation. Well, that's a belief. That's all that is. And you know, if you want to Abraham Hicks, if you've been there, if you're doing that, what's a belief? It's just the thought that you've practiced. It doesn't mean it's true. So certainly chewing on this makes sense, because what you're doing is bouncing it back and forth between the third eye, what you think, and your heart, what you feel. Right? So it's okay. It's okay to chew on this, particularly if it does feel like career change or moving your home, which I have survived. I want a t-shirt. I moved from Holbrook to Saratoga Springs and I survived it and I got a t-shirt. But remember also, it's part of a cycle. We all go through this. So let me read you about deconstructing doubt. Ooh, we're almost there. We almost turned right to it, almost. Deconstructing doubt. Only my beliefs are in my way. As you deconstruct doubt, you're no longer lost in the concerns and curiosities of what if, future, or what if I had done it differently in the past, right? But we are more rooted in the truth of what is in the given moment, the holy instant, the power of now, so many different, be here now, right? Zen Buddhism, all of that. When doubt is deconstructed, hardship is no longer a sign of misfortune. It is an opportunity to step outside your comfort zone and to meet the higher aspects of soul that are just beyond the boundary of the self. In other words, it's how we evolved. So, you know, shadow work usually involves what? Some kind of conflict. Well, here it is, right? And it's not, you know, hardship ain't easy. Otherwise it would be called easy ship. But it does make us better, but we usually don't see that till later anyway, so holding the faith through that. But certainly any kind of hardship, physical, emotional, mental, financial, relational, any kind, political hardship, whatever it is, because politics ain't just about government. We have politics in our families and our friends and in our workspaces. So, it's a modern day and actually rather ancient stressor. Then nurturing makes sense, right? It's like, I'm going to do a little bit more for myself than I do for others. Not that I'm cutting people out, unless you are, but it's just part of a cycle. And you know what, doing what I do every day, like I don't really get a day off, right? I can plan a day off, but then, surprise, this person is in need. And the Virgo in me springs forward, but it is my Venus in Libra that reminds me, stay in balance, right? Go take a shower. Did you eat today? Nurturing that within myself. So that I can serve. This mantra is ideal for aligning with truth, because there's always a higher one, being more self-actualized, so we're not waiting for others to do stuff so much, right? We're taking action ourselves, and transforming inferiority, because, that's the ego. The ego sees us as better than or less than from person to person and from situation to situation, but the soul knows the truth. We're all one. There is no comparison. So, if you are new to my work here on the Tube of You, I always end these readings with a blessimation. It's a word we came up with over on Patreon, and it's stuck. Combination of a blessing and summation. After that, we'll talk about cool stuff if you want to hang out for it, the readings and Patreon and all of that. But I rarely know what I'm going to say in these readings anyway. I really don't know what's going to come out of my mouth when I do the blessimation. So, one last time for this reading. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheonic override. May we end as we began. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine on behalf of us, Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and our cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading, may we be blessed with all that we need to alchemize our shadow to light, our lead to gold, our pain to peace. So we shift from toxicity to health, from fear to love, and illusion to truth, into a more golden true love timeline by deconstructing doubts, because only our beliefs are in the way, and there are cycles for all things, and we attune with that cycle and go with that flow. We get the pressure and release, the waxing and the waning, and there is a time turn to every season. And so that we take the time in this cycle to nurture ourselves first. It's not being narcissistic if we're actually being self-reflective. Right? Going within, acknowledging how we are feeling, giving ourselves the time, the space, the rest, and the breath, and then able to serve others by creating a safe space for them to be where they are. And yes, that can be a major life-changing decision. But the Lover's card, if anything, is about making the wisest Athena, most loving Aphrodite, most powerful choices and decisions, Hera, to move ourselves in a direction more in alignment with the truth of who we are. And certainly there's nothing wrong with chewing on that with the Four of Wands. A time of rest, but a time of maybe going back and forth, chewing instead of spitting or swallowing, as it were, so that we can embrace our powers of the engineer, reason, season, or lifetime, with our ability to give creative energy a practical expression, and embracing our talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas, for happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser lives, including relationships, in a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser way. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. For a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world for all of life. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So motivate, and so it is. Not bad for a shadow read. Actually, they've all been kind of on the light side. I'm sort of surprised, but not really. The cards will fall where they may. If you found this reading helpful, a little clue, a little tip, a little hint, please hit the like button. It shifts the algorithms, kitty cat, so that other Libras and cross-watchers can find the reading. If you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe, because I'm not stopping. Obviously, this is a good outlet for me. me and to put my work out into the world to serve and help and fulfill my sacred contracts in this lifetime. But if you want the deeper dive, more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more a shopping opportunity, a shopportunity with all sorts of cool stuff in the shop, come Patreon on Patreon. It's so much fun. I love Patreon, and they keep giving us cool stuff to do. I love that we have free followers now. I'm putting out advanced as well as exclusive content just for them, although again, the subscribers see them too. The subscribers get, depending on their level of subscription, everything. Some of the Gods, Goddesses, top tier gets everything that's in the digital shop as part of their monthly subscription, but all of my subscribers get the daily check-ins. They get the extended readings, and they get the significant discount. But if you follow us as a seeker or a human 7-day free trial, you got to stay the whole month to get the discount, and just book me during that month because it keeps the scheduling easier. And I love it. Go check it out. And I highly recommend being a Patreon creator. They're wonderful. I love the company. So click the link, check it out, and come Patreon on Patreon. Because I'm the Archangel of Lions, Markangelo Lyons. Shh, too late. But you could just call me Mal. And if you want to book me for a private session, I did make a video at the 25th anniversary of my company, Drawing the Circle Productions Incorporated, May 1st, 2023. That was last year at the time of this recording, and I have moved, so the game has changed. The video is still in the description box, and it will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about booking me for a private session, a spiritual counseling, a reading, or what we call a half and half, which is both. But I am going to be making a new one, and in that new one I will be saying that I'm doing readings at the Magic Moon in Saratoga Springs, and you contact them directly. You don't have to contact me at all. I have days set aside. You tell them you want to book me, they let me know, I come in and I read you, sometimes several people in one day, and then I come back home. It's lovely. I'm also setting up an office downstairs to take clients and do some small groups and classes with, but you know, that's down the line with the kitten. We're getting the kitten settled in right now. The majority of the work that I do as a reader and a spiritual counselor is on a Zoom recording, where I send the client a link to a Zoom chat. They come in, we record the whole thing. At the end of it, I send them the link, they download it, they tell me they downloaded it, and then I delete it from the cloud, because confidentiality is really, really key to me. I took vows to my gods to keep this stuff confidential, and I say it in that video of that title, it's still hovering over my head. But the most important thing that I say in that reading is I've never turned anybody away because of lack of finances. I never will, I don't now, and I never have. Where there's a witch, there's a way. So I'm a witch, there's a way, and I'm here to help, and we can work it out. And if you've been waiting all this time, no, it is not clickbait, or should I say snapbait. There's Sammy and I, my little kitten. We got him a week ago today at the time of this recording, and I love him so much. And yeah, there are reels being made, there are pictures on Instagram, and you get to watch him grow up if you want to follow me on Facebook. There's a lot of cool stuff even going on in the Markangelo Lyons Mal for short private Facebook group. But I think Sammy's enough that if you want to follow along, please do, because he is so much fun, little Cedric crabby ass cat. I love him so much. And my other two boys are integrating him in well. It's nice. There's been no violence, only some growling and hissing, you know, dominance and all of that with Balthazar and Melchior. So thank you so much, my beloved Libras. I love having Venus conjunct Mercury and Libra third house. I know Mercury retrogrades a bit nuts, but that's true for everybody pretty much. So I'm always here to help out a fellow Venus-oriented Libra. Reach out if you need help. But honestly, we're good at nurturing others. Are we good at nurturing ourselves? Location, location, location. Your mileage may vary. So hang in there. We got this. And honestly, we've got Aphrodite, Venus in the reading, so I'm taking that as a good omen. Ooh, Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman, good omens. Can't wait for season 3. So wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed, my beloved 7th house cardinal air Libras. Hang in there. We got this. I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.